Hello Battlefielders, and welcome to another one of Strangers Live. Well, this one actually isn't live. My recording tool decided to go rogue on me, and it didn't successfully record what I said during the game. So it's going to be instead a gameplay commentary, and I'll go over pretty much most of the things you want to know about this weapon. So let's start off by saying, what is this weapon? It's the Desert Eagle 50 cal. Any bad sides about it? Yes, there are a lot of bad things about this weapon. Let's begin by saying that this weapon has a very slow draw time. That's the time it takes to draw the weapon. That time is set at 0.8 seconds. So if you saw that, that's every time you have to, every time you switch, fall from a high building, use your parachute, deploy a medkit, use your defibs, whatever you name it. Every time you do that, you're going to have to go through that animation again. So, is this weapon really good for close quarters? Yes and no. Yes, if you know when to draw the weapon, and can aim for headshots, so you can one-hit kill enemies up to 15 meters. No, if you cannot. Is it still an awesome gun? Yes. I definitely have to say it is an awesome gun. So let's take a look over the statistics of this weapon. Each bullet does up to 110 hit points on headshots. Well, it exceeds that by a lot if you actually aim for headshots at point blank, but really shouldn't say much more than 110 because that's the maximum amount of hit points you can have. Reload, it's pretty fast. The reload time is set to about 3 seconds, I think, which is good. Damage wise, at long range, this weapon deals the most amount of damage over all the pistols. Damage per second, though, is lower than the Elite's M1911 over range, because the Elite's M1911 has a higher rate of fire. And simply trying to defibrillate people might just be better at closer quarters, in case of a panic situation. So with this weapon, you really have to be aware of what you are doing with it, when you're planning on equipping it, when you want to use your defibrillators, and when you just simply don't want to get in that fight. Because the 0.8 second draw time does not make it a very effective weapon at close quarters in a panic situation where your primary weapon, for example, just ran out of ammo, and you need a weapon you can switch to immediately and use immediately to kill. So you really need to be planning the time you are going to be using your Desert Eagle. In terms of satisfactory and a satisfactory rating of this weapon, I would rate this very high. The gun sound of it is very loud, and it gives you that feeling of power. Both the first person and the third person sound will give you that feeling. Just a little tip, if you have your speakers set on max, it might be a good idea to turn them down a little bit. Recoil, it's high, but recoil with the pistols actually has a recoil reset, or also known as aim return. So when you fire the weapon, the recoil, the scope, the sight will return close to its original position. This can be useful against stationary targets at range. But still, yet again, you need to be aiming for those headshots. You need to also be taking your time when you're firing. Despite this weapon actually having a high rate of fire, that rate of fire counts for nothing if you cannot control recoil and if you cannot aim for headshots. And there you see, with a rate of fire, high rate of fire, also comes good trigger finger discipline. If you try to fire a weapon too fast, it may jam on you. Well, it will not technically jam, but it just feels like the weapon doesn't fire, which it doesn't, because you fire too fast and you miss the fire cap. So you have to learn how fast this weapon can fire, and do not try to exceed it by too much. Which can be annoying in a panic situation, because then you want the most amount of damage you can physically get from one shot. And you want to get that damage, you also want that damage to be dealt as fast as possible. Fail revive. So, in a panic situation, not so recommended anymore. And there you saw a great example of killing an enemy with 110 hit points. Its 7 bullet magazine can deplete quite quickly, though its rate of fire cap is slower than that of an M1911 or a MP443. It does fire slightly faster than the MP4112 Rex though. Again, another headshot, one-shot kill. If you can successfully aim for those headshots, this weapon can be rewarding. If not, this weapon may not be right for you. So to sum up everything about this weapon, it's pretty much a faster MP4112 Rex, which does more damage at long range than the Rex, but slightly slower on close quarters. What does that mean for you? It means you're gonna have to aim for headshots. If you cannot aim for headshots, this weapon no longer is worth it. It also has a very, very long draw time for any weapon. I believe it has the longest time to draw. It is set at 0.8 seconds. Each magazine carries 7 bullets. You carry 9 magazines extra. So that sums up everything for this gameplay commentary. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.